Right, so I hope, knock on wood, or we're live. Go and check on YouTube. Yay, we're live. We're fucking live. Welcome, folks, welcome. Sort of the way I have it set up here at the minute. You can't really see Miss Edie, but she's here. Hey, you know, on Daddy's bed with all your new Christmas toys? Yeah, you're a good girl, aren't you? You're a good girl. There. Right, that's her hello, goodbye, everything away. So, I've had several things that have wound me up the last week or so, week and a bit. And I know that I couldn't squeeze them all into one 15-minute video, which is the max. If you go over that, then you have to do something else, which I can't do. So it has to be less than 15 minutes. And I didn't want to make 3 separate videos for each of the things that wound me up. So what we'll do is we'll just bung them all into one and go live and see what happens. So here we are. So things that have wound me up this week. The first one, and when I say this wound me up, I literally mean I shouted at my TV. Nobody else here in the house. Literally me shouting at the TV like a crazy person. It was an advert for UNICEF, who were asking for £2 a month to feed starving children in Afghanistan, and that by itself did not wind me up. I'm all for charity, although I do believe that we should help the people who are starving here first before we try and help the rest of the world, but that's beside the point. So after it asked for your £2 donation for a month, it then said the UK government will then donate £6 per month for every 2 that you give at no extra cost to you. And that was the bit that literally the steam was coming out of my ears, shouting at the TV. Where the fuck do you think the government get their money from? Us, the people. And so that really annoyed me to the point where I started thinking about it and went and done a wee Google search. And all I typed in was how do governments borrow money. And it turned out that the BBC had done an article on it like 5 days prior. So let's go and have a wee look. Where does the government borrow billions from? 21st of December last year, so 2 weeks ago. The government has borrowed record-breaking amounts to pay for measures designed to limit the impact of coronavirus, initiatives such as the furlough scheme, blah, blah, right? The latest data shows that the UK government borrowed 17.4 billion with a B in November alone. This was 4.9 billion less than the same month last year, but was still the second highest November borrowing since monthly records began in 1993. Right? I want you to look at this graph. This is the amount of money that the government are borrowing. 17.4 billion in November. Wee bit less October. September was above 20. Less than 20. So it's averaging around about 20 billion per month for the last year and a bit. There was 2 months last year at the height of the pandemic, fair enough, covering the furlough scheme and all. But in 2 months, they borrowed close to £90 billion. And people are going, oh, it's the government, they're borrowing it. Yeah, they're borrowing it, but they're borrowing it on the strength of us. What the government can't take off you now in taxes, right? When taxes get to a certain level, which is right about where they are now, if you start to take any more, people will fucking revolt. They'll not have it, right? So what the government does is they'll go to fucking Rockefeller or JP Morgan and anybody else and go, we need to borrow 90 billion. Rockefeller's, nah, not a problem, mate. Fucking spare change, here you go. How you gonna pay me back? Like anything. If I go for a loan for a bank, I have to show them that I'm working and that I can pay the money back. Same thing, governments have to show that they can pay it back, and the way that they do that is by showing the Rockefeller or the Morgan or whatever the birth records and birth certificates for this decade and go, in 20 years time these people will all be working and we can tax the life out of them, and that's how much money we'll have to pay you back then. So whether it comes from taxes now or taxes later, like fucking World War Two, we only finished paying off our debt that we accrued from World War Two like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago at the absolute max. It took us 70 fucking years to pay off our debt, and this is going to be the same. Our kids and grandkids will be paying this fucking shit off forever. And what are they doing with it? You know what I mean? Fucking donating £6 for every two to starving people in Afghanistan, when there's fucking starving people here in our own country and they don't get the money. It's fucking, it's beyond not right. And not only is it beyond not right, it is blowing my mind how people aren't more upset about this. I don't know. I just like talking to a fucking brick wall, people sometimes. But if that graph alone doesn't scare the bollocks out of you, then nothing will. Ignorance is bliss, I suppose. So, right, that's that one done. That's my rant on that over. Oh no. One more wee thing to add to my rant, right? So what kicked this all off was a UNICEF advert asking for £2 a month and then getting an extra £6 a month from our British government taxpayers' money that we don't even have. If we don't have enough tax money to cover what we need to be doing in our own country, then we should definitely not be fucking handing it out overseas, right? I'll tell you something else, we definitely should not be handing it to fucking UNICEF. All I thought, type UNICEF scandal into DuckDuckGo. UNICEF aid workers raped and abused 50 women in the Congo. UNICEF admits feelings with child victims of alleged sex trafficking. Oh, they did have a wee dig. UNICEF would spend $700,000 to feed starving children in the UK. Hold me fucking a second. UNICEF deputy quits after inappropriate behaviour. UNICEF promised investigation of sexual abuse. Charity sex scandal. UNICEF. Where was the other one? No, there you go there. UNICEF staff misappropriate more than $1 million. So there's fucking 5 headlines where they've raped 50 women, they've child sex trafficked, they're playing identity politics, they've misappropriated more than $1 million, and their director had to resign after a series of sexual misconduct allegations. And we're giving these fuckers taxpayer money? Fucking... Aye, there. I wonder would ye, huh? And to finish that sentence, I wonder would you go and fuck yourself, UNICEF. Fucking taxes and governments, right? Anyway, that's that fucking rant over. Well, we'll have 2 viewers, apparently. Don't know who they are or where they came from or... Doesn't tell me. How do I say something? Sign in to chat. This action cannot be performed inside Streamlabs desktop. In order to chat, you have to open this chat in a browser window. So then I have to go to YouTube's. Just to see how, I don't know how any of this shit works, and I'm learning on the fly here. Oh, now we've got a message from Big Jeff. You. That's a bit shit that I have to keep going over here. How long has the viewers been there? I don't know. Did you catch my full rant on taxes and all that shit? If you didn't, you can go back and watch it at a later date. Now, this fucking idiot, right? Lukaku's bombshell interview to Italian TV about being unhappy at Chelsea was disrespectful to Tuchel, Abramovich and his teammates. Right? We're going to look at what he actually said and then look at the reaction to it. So this is his quotes. Physically I am fine, but I'm not happy with the situation at Chelsea. Tuchel has chosen to play with another system. I won't give up. I'll be professional. I am not happy with the situation, but I am professional and I can't give up now. Then he goes on to suck up to Inter Milan and stuff and things like that. But it's this bit here that he's not happy at Chelsea because Tuchel has chosen to play with another system. Chelsea have played every single match bar one of the Tuchel era exactly the same way. So that was from when he took over from Lampard last January and took us to win in the Champions League. And this season, it's the same shape, it's the same style, same formation, right? So Tuchel has not chosen to play with another system. That is a flat out fucking lie, right? And then we have people coming out. Let me try and find it now. The guy Samuel, I don't know if Samuel's his first name or his second name or whatever, who writes for the Daily Mail, comes out and applauded his honesty. Well, that's not honest. The very first fucking thing that he criticises Tuchel and the system is fucking, it's not correct, it's not true, but yet he's being honest. So how you can be honest and factually incorrect at the same time is fucking annoying, right? Then Sky Sports, I don't know if I'll be able to find it here. Sky Sports, I was watching it, and it was the transfer news centre thing. So the presenter and the two journalists / reporters, and all three of them made excuses for him about how he was injured at the time that he gave it, and he was depressed and he wasn't happy and he had COVID and not fucking, like, I've seen, I think Gary Neville and Souness both called it out, and then Trevor Sinclair in this article has called it out, and they're the only three that have come out. Like, Trevor Sinclair, I'm in absolute shock. That's how mental this was. So even if he was being honest, and even if he was depressed, and he was injured, do you know what's not going to make any of those three things better? Going on TV and abusing your boss, your boss's boss, the fans, and your teammates. You know what I mean? Doing that is not going to improve any of those three things. So then why should those three things be an excuse for what he did? They shouldn't. Fuck him. I don't want to see him play for our team ever again. That's the any bridges that he had with us, he didn't burn them. He fucking nuked them bitches from orbit. There's no rebuilding them bridges. They're gone. If it was me, I 100% would never ever sell him to Tottenham and Antonio Conte and Daniel Levy. That would never happen. Inter Milan, their fans don't want him back. When he came out with this interview, the Inter Milan fans put out a banner that, I think in Italian it must be really nice or whatever, but in English it was, it's not about those who run away in the rain, it's about those who stay in the storm. So the Inter Milan fans have just went, yo, fuck you, pal. So he's not welcome back there, and even if he was welcome back there, Inter Milan are so far in debt that they couldn't pay for a pair of his boots, never mind a 100 million transfer fee and his mega wage on top of that. So he's not going there. Or any of the big clubs, could they afford him? Do they want him? Would Liverpool, Man City, Barcelona, Juventus, Real Madrid, would any of those teams either want him or be able to afford him? I don't think so. If I was Abramovich, and Abramovich is probably him and the Sheikh at Man City, or the two only owners that could do this, could absorb that kind of hit, I would put him in the fucking reserve team and leave him there until his contract runs out. That's what I would do. Chelsea won't do that because it's just come out in the last couple of hours that Romelu Lukaku is to be fined $417,000 by Chelsea as the club lay down the law over his bombshell interview. So I'm assuming that that's 2 weeks' wages, which is the max that any footballer can ever be fined. It's a ridiculous rule that it was brought in years ago that they can't fine you more than 2 weeks' wages. So they could fine you 2 weeks' wages for bringing the club into disrepute or whatever, but if you karate kicked a fan in the front row, they could still only fine you 2 weeks' wages. It's fucking mental. Mental. He was also fined 400,000 by Man United for failing to report to training in 2019. He is an absolute fucking basket case, and it kind of looked the performances that he was putting in Inter Milan carried them to the league. He was doing well at Belgium. It looked like he had grown up a lot since leaving Man United, and here we are, 4.5 months later. Toys out of the pram, controversy all around, and a £500,000 fine. Good, that'll fucking hurt him. He should never play for us again, like, but that's just me. Let me fucking check back to see how the comments are going. You blindsided the manager. Any problem should have been brought to him first. Swap for Kane. 100%. 100%. Where's the fucking percent symbol? Where is it? 100% agree with Jeff on the first part where he blindsided his manager. Any problem should have been brought to him first. The swap for Kane bit, nah, I do not rate that big chin wanker at all. And Uncle Jack's in the house too. I think he needs an arm around him. Yeah, I could put two around him, around his fucking throat. But I'll leave it at that. Leave it at that. What's up next? DC Comics. Oh my good lord. I don't even know. How do you talk about this? DC Comics implies Superman was sexually tortured. Let's see if we can find the actual artwork and the scene. Right, here it is. Every day they would drag me into the interview room. Every day they would restrain me in a way that left me exposed and vulnerable. So he was bent over a table. And every day for 8 months they did things to me. They did things to me while I was forced to look at him. So he's fucking raped and beaten every day for 8 months. Who at DC thought that would be a good idea? And then, so whoever wrote this fucking shit should be handcuffed and thrown in the fucking river. Whoever approved it, edited it, fucking people, there should be heads rolling at DC Comics for this. And all they're doing is fucking sniffing their own farts and thinking that they're the best thing since fucking sliced bread. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you wanted to have a superhero get captured and sexually abused and stuff like that, then you would go to a comic character where that kind of shit wouldn't be out of place. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of like Punishers of the world and things like that are hardcore, you know, gory and gritty, and you do not go to the great Boy Scout Superman and the most powerful being on earth gets raped for 8 months, every day for 8 months. I seriously cannot fathom. Like, my mind will not, it won't work when it comes to how did they think that it was a good idea, it would make money, it would please fans, like, unless their objective was to piss off fans and not make money, in which case, fucking job done. Right, and so if that wasn't like the 1-2 punch, well, that was the one punch. Here's the two punch. Batman and Superman reportedly being replaced by Batgirl and Supergirl. Also, Latino race swap Supergirl and Latino race swap Batgirl, but that's beside the point. So, it must be about a year ago or so, when Michael Keaton was first announced for Flashpoint movie, I left a comment, I think it was on our X Reloaded channel, about how if they wanted to use him, if they wanted to use Keaton as like the Nick Fury type, you know, bringing the Justice League together and not actually just focus on Batman stories, like have him be the one putting it all together, that would be good. Because then you would be able to launch a whole Bat family of movies. You would be able to have a Nightwing movie. You could do the Red Hood storyline. You could eventually bring in Damian Wayne. You've got Batgirl, Batwoman. You could have all of those. You know what I mean? And it would have been great. And what they've done is they've went with it up to a point and went, instead of making it great, what about if we could make it absolutely as shit as possible? And boom, now we'll have Latino Supergirl, Latino Batgirl, and they are genuinely, the Flashpoint movie ends with Flash and Supergirl and Shazam forming a new Justice League. So you would have Wonder Woman, the Flash, Aquaman, Batgirl, Supergirl, and Shazam as the Justice League. A Justice League without Superman and Batman. And they think that this is going to make money. This will fucking bomb harder than a fucking Nazi bomber in the Blitz. And I don't know. I've completely given up on superhero stuff. Like, I stopped watching the CW shows. I hung in there right until the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it was such a letdown. And all Arrow had already ended by that point, and the other shows, Flash, oh my god, Supergirl, Legends, just got so fucking bad. And Marvel movies, I haven't seen anything since Endgame. DC, I can't remember the last DC thing I watched. Well, I watched the Snyder Cut, and it was alright, I think, but it wasn't fucking great. Oh, right. So, with one more wee thing just before we finish off, and I literally just added this before we went live. I saw an advert on TV, and it was for Amazon or something, and there's two people were talking. Did you see the art or the thing on power couples? And the one went to the other one, and then he went, "Oh yeah, with Idris and Sabrina Elba." I was like, "Who the fuck's Sabrina Elba? Never heard of her before." So I thought I would Google her and find out. And the very first thing that came up, Sabrina Elba is an Afro-American model and actress who is most recognised because of her marriage with the famous British actor Idris Elba. So, she's established herself as a successful model and has been featured in renowned fashion magazines like Vogue and Harrods. Ooh. But she is most recognised because of her marriage with the famous actor Idris Elba. Now, to me, a power couple in the entertainment industry would be David Beckham and Victoria. You know, the height of world fame with the Spice Girls, the height of world fame for Man United coming together. That is a power couple. A power couple is not one famous person gets married to someone and then that person is now famous because they're married. That is not a fucking power couple. It's absolute fucking mentalness. So those were the things that wound me up this week. If we, oh fucking hell, 5 people watching. The stream started 8 minutes ago. Actually, I thought talking about those 4 things would last a lot longer than 8 minutes, to be honest with you. And I don't know who the 5 people are. Like, I know I asked Jack and Jeff to stop by, and they're here, which means we'll have 3 people who could be anybody. Ooh, hello. What do you want? Well, is there anything you guys want to talk about? We could go and have a wee look at the news, couldn't we? Just see what the news is saying. This is where I go for my news. Newsnow.uk, I think it is, yeah. And so, it's newsnow.co.uk. You get like the top 5 headlines for the UK, for the world, business, entertainment, sport, football, technology, science, Boris Johnson, UK politics, coronavirus, Joe Biden. And they just pull all. Oh, is he Northern Ireland down there at the bottom? Belfast party bikes are a world of pain, yeah, no shit. Right, so let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Prince Andrew's bid to dismiss sex abuse case challenged by skeptical judge. Like, that's a fucking absolute fucking disgrace that he thinks just because of who he is that he is immune to being fucking called by a court. Yeah, so U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan in Manhattan is assessing a 2009 settlement agreement in Florida between Epstein and Godfrey that the 61-year-old prince's lawyers have said shields Andrew from claims by the 38-year-old. So, because she either took a settlement or was threatened into it or blackmailed into it or whatever by Epstein in 2009, that means that in 2022 you shouldn't be held accountable for fucking raping her. What? Like, it makes no fucking sense. Tony Blair, 500,000 hating him. I signed. I'll not sign it now on the stream, but in case I need to put any details or anything in, but I'll get it signed. Like, Tony Blair, what a fucking ball bag. How anybody can listen to this fucking tit and think that he's anything other than a lying, absolute war criminal. I don't even have the words. You know, how many people died in Iraq? Both Iraqis and British soldiers and American soldiers and soldiers from other parts of the Commonwealth. Because he lied. When America lied and went, oh, we have they have weapons of mass destruction, we have the proof, we'll have to go in. He then came out and backed them up and went, yes, I've seen the proof, we'll have to go. and then it turns out that there was no fucking weapons of mass destruction at all. That motherfucker should be in the Hague on war crime charges, and they're fucking the Queen's trying to give him a knighthood. Fuck me. If Tony Blair receives a knighthood, that is 100% confirmation that we're in clown world. The world is a fucking simulation on some alien's laptop somewhere, and nobody's at the wheel anymore. They've went AFK and left it. Unreal. Hold on a second here. I looked at this fucking thing and it says started streaming 8 minutes ago and assumed that we've been going for 8 minutes. And then when I look in Streamlabs, it says we've been going for 31 minutes and counting. I have a long way to go before I figure out all this shit, and I am hurtling towards 40 after all. This is a young person's game. Half an hour. That's a nice wee short stream. Got everything on my list done. And then I'm gonna go and lie down, have a wee cup of tea and a smoke. So hopefully I can make this a weekly thing. Hopefully, knock on wood. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my very hardest to do as much YouTube content as I can. So until then, till we see you again. Peace out. Much love. Edie, do you want to say goodbye? Oh, who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Yes. Well, we'll go and get you some doggy bacon. Yeah? Okay. Peace out, folks. Much love.